Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Strange things, they do happen in this world. The message reads like this. I went to this other village that I'll never forget. It is called Marange, and I went there to do rituals. Now my brother is dead, and I know that it is I who caused everything that happened to him. I am thinking about returning back, not because I want to, but because I am being haunted by his spirit. I want to go and hear what is it that I need to do if I need to sacrifice another person again. But the problem that I have right now is that when you do the rituals, they tell you to never come back, because I had to buy a tokoloshi. They asked me if I wanted a tokoloshi that you can use for 10 years. Then after you would have used it for 10 years, then you come and you return it back, including the money that you would have made. So you just make money for 10 years, then after 10 years you go broke. Then the other tokoloshi is that it stays with you for life and you will make money for the rest of your life. Then when you die, then it means that it returns back to the owner on its own. Everything, it is written in a book when you are consulting with the traditional healer. So I then calculated and I said 10 years, but it's nothing. Within 10 years, I will be broke. So I don't want to be broke. I want to enjoy money until I am old. Then I can die. So then I told the healer that if it was possible, he was supposed to give me that tokoloshi that I can just bring it with me to South Africa and enjoy money for the rest of my life. So he then told me that if I wanted that tokoloshi in which I will use it for the rest of my life, then I was not allowed to return back to that shrine. He said, it is better that you take this tokoloshi, for it is like when you buy a TV that has a guarantee. If something wrong goes with that TV, then you can return it back to the shop. But if you take this one, he was pointing at a tortoise, because there were two tortoises, which he said that those were the tokoloshis. He said, if you take this one, the smaller one, once you take it, remember that there is no guarantee. I will never accept this thing because it will need blood. And once this thing tastes blood, if I take it from you, then it will finish all of my children. I will never want to see you at my shrine. At that time, his secretary was busy writing everything that I was saying so that they can have a witness if it ever happens that I return back to their village to give them their tokoloshi. So I then said that it is better that I take this thing with risk than for me to be rich for 10 years, then I go poor for the rest of my life. What if I live until I am more than 100? So it means that I will be struggling for more than 60 or so years. It's better that I just enjoy my money for the rest of my life. No guarantee, I don't even care. So then I took that tokoloshi. When I returned back, I started making money, but I am not allowed to return back to that village. I am a black South African man. I am aged 41 years old. I am writing this to you, hoping that you might find someone that can assist me. I am tired of the things that I witnessed on a daily basis. I am tired of the way that my relatives are suffering, all because of the things that I did. And I have this great loss in my heart because my brother, he was the one who took me through secondary school after our parents had passed away in a terrible accident. And after I had passed, I then went to university. It was my brother who was doing everything for me. He even got divorced by his wife because his wife was saying to him, you are always focusing on your family rather than focusing on me. But my brother then said to his wife, there is no way that I'll ever forget my siblings simply because I love you. It is far much better that I divorce you. This is what hurts me, because my brother is sacrificed everything so that we can be happy. But this is the way that I chose to harm him and to kill him. I was not poor and I was not rich. I already had a good business. I was a university graduate and I was working. Then on the side, I had a small business. Some months were good, some months were bad. Since I was working, whenever things were not going so well in my business, what I will do is that I will just make sure that my business, it can be put on hold for a couple of months whilst I was raising some money. Then we return back to business. I really did not have any stress at all. And I had one of our younger brother whom we were also assisting because he was the youngest in the family. When our parents died on that fateful night, he was still 3 months, but somehow he survived, even though he is someone that is traumatized. Sometimes he has this trauma, and because of the rituals that I did, I think that it is also affecting him, because there are days when he can just panic for no reason at all, as if he is someone that is losing his mind. But that is another story for another day. So I was trying to help my elder brother so that we can make sure that our youngest brother can also go through university. And then I started to fight with my own wife. You know, women, what they are like. So there was a time when I had taken money. The money that I had taken from the business, both of us, we had agreed to take out that money. But the only problem why we started fighting was that some of this money, I then went and I gave it to my sibling. And my wife found out about this. So when the deal did not go through, my wife, she would always blame me, saying that you're always giving your relatives money. That is why we are always broke like this. So it gave me a lot of pressure. That was when the pressure kept on growing as the years went by. And I started to see other people that I went with to university buying cars, renovating houses, some were even becoming rich. And I said, why not me? That was when I went to the location where my auntie was staying. I went to this other man whom I knew was a Malawian man. I spoke with him and I told him that I was looking for a healer that would help me to bless my business. He suggested a Sangoma, and I said, as long as he's South African, I do not want. I want someone that is from your country, because I hear that Malawi is very powerful if it comes to charms. He then said that he knew this other man that was from Zim, who used to sell brooms and other doormats, and he was making a lot of money even though he was just selling those brooms. So he was going to ask him if he knew about anything. And then we had a meeting with that man. They came to my house. We spoke about this. He then told me that in his village, there was this other place where there was a traditional healer. He knew this traditional healer when he had gone to look for diamonds, and there was a mine there where he was working. So the owner of the mine, he used to bring that sangoma so that he can put a blessing on the mine so that they can be able to find some diamonds and emeralds as quickly as possible. And I told myself that I was just going to try to get, even if it is good luck. That was all that I thought that I wanted. But it was my first lie that I told myself. Those people, it's like they have this power that they are given by the devil. Once you enter into their shrine, you will start to have this greed in your heart that I want to be rich, not just normal rich. I want to be wealthy. And that is what I started to feel the moment that we arrived at that village. When we went to his compound, I saw that there were a lot of people that were gathered there. Some of them, they had returned back the charms that they had been given after they had used them for the 10 years. And some of us, we were waiting in line so that we can be assisted. When we went into the shrine, the man there, he did not talk too much. He asked questions about my life, my family, and the way that I had struggled in life. He then said to me, I'm going to give you this, so it's your choice. And that was when we had that conversation. Like I told you, I remember feeling it in my heart that I did not want to be poor ever again in my life, even though I should have left, but I stayed. And when we got into the rituals, I was told that if anything goes wrong, I was never supposed to return back to his shrine. He had like a big TV. When I say a big TV, this is a village that had no electricity, nothing. Even at his house, the room in which we were, there was no solar, but the other houses, they had those small solar panels that you could just use to play a radio and to just light those small electrical lamps, and that was all that they had. And this TV, it was not even connected. It was those old Panasonic TVs, the one which had a wooden cover. That was the one that was also in that same room. So this TV, like, it was on, but somehow it was not connected to the solar panels. And when it was time for me to finish the rituals, he then said that this TV will see you. This TV will know everything that you will do. And if you do anything that goes against what we have said here, you will start to run mad. Do you understand me? And I said yes. He then tapped the TV with his walking stick, and I started to see people in different places. Those people, they were busy doing things that only mad people do, to eat from the beans. And he said that all of these people, they went with my tokoloshis, and later on they went to church thinking that church is going to help them. So know that I am very powerful. No God can defeat me. Do you still want to do this ritual? And I said, yes, uncle, I want you to assist me. So I was speaking through an interpreter. He was the one that would talk to him in Shona, because the man was being possessed by the spirit of his ancestor who did not understand anything that has to do with English. I was told to agree to some things that I don't remember anymore, because he was speaking in a rude way and he was not polite at all. I was told that I was going to become successful for the rest of my life, but I was never supposed to return back to that shrine. And when I returned back to South Africa, after I had been given a tortoise, I still remember when I was on the bus, I was scared, especially when we entered South Africa. So the bus in which I got into, there were a lot of people that had no even passports. So it was late at night. I think we were at the border around 1 a.m. or so, and we were supposed to come to Joburg. So whilst we were there, some of us, we were sitting somewhere and we were waiting for those people to do their deals, those that did not have passports. So whilst we were sitting, that was when another guy came. He was for SARS. That man then said that every bag was supposed to go through the machine in which they put your bag, and then it goes through the machine. My heart was beating very fast, and then I remember that I had a voice that told me not to be afraid. But what I was supposed to do was that I was supposed to spit into the bag. And I did as I had been instructed to do whilst we were in the queue going to the place where they were going to scan our bags. And then my bag, when it was put into the machine, my heart was beating so fast because I had a tortoise that was in there and it was alive. For I would even hear it moving, and here and there I would just throw in a cucumber and I would even hear that tortoise as it was chewing the cucumber, because I bought a lot of them so that I can feed it along the way. So I knew that the tortoise was in there, but to my surprise, there was no alarm. Everything was normal, and we returned back to the bus. We traveled from the border. We came to Joburg. When we arrived, then things started to change. Business was improving very fast. Money was coming to me easily. At work, I got a promotion. Opportunities, they started coming to me. Like wherever I was being respected by people, because wherever I would be, the Tokoloshi will be with me. So people were always afraid of me. 6 months later, my brother, the doctor, he started to complain about a lot of headaches. And I just thought that maybe it was something that had to do with stress and depression, because he was the main breadwinner in the family, and he was the glue that held us together. So I just said that he's going to be fine. The headaches got worse, scans were done, the tests were done. I still remember that I was in Durban when he finally got the results. The doctors had found out that he had a tumor, and they did not understand what was happening to him. It was fast, aggressive, and it was very strange. And even one of his doctor said that this tumor does not even behave normally. And then as he was becoming more sick by the day and more weaker, my businesses, they started to get strong, and we got our first tender. That is when I started to be so afraid, for I knew that it was my tokology that was feeding on him. I had a very weird dream that I will never forget. One day, I was seated at the table. It was me, and there was one of my brother, who is my cousin brother. We were waiting for the food to be brought to us. And then that was when I saw the person that gave us the food. It was just a topology. I could see the body structure, that this one is not a human being. And then I saw that same tortoise which I was using in my business. It was all grown up like a man, and this tortoise, it opened the big bowl that was placed on the table, and I saw that inside that bowl there was human brains that was in there. It was so shocking for me. And then I heard the tortoise saying that we are finished with him. I have finished eating his brain. The very next morning, guess what? I received a message from one of his friends at the hospital where he was, and he gave me the sad news that my brother had passed away. Within a year, a healthy doctor, a healthy man, he was gone. The tumor took him really fast. At the funeral, people were crying. My relatives, they were saddened by that story, but I was told not to even shed a tear. At his funeral, I was even laughing in my heart. Fast forward, I can't sleep. I feel as if there is someone that is always following me. I don't have peace. I don't have joy. Even if I am with as many women as I can have on a single night, but the money that I have, it can't make me happy. Every time when I laugh, I can see my brother's face. Even if I am with people, I can just see my brother. And I am not allowed to go back to that village. I still have money, but I have no peace. I once saw my mother. She was crying. She was sitting by my brother's grave when I had gone to put some flowers there because of the guilt. I saw my mother's spirit in broad daylight. I came back running because I was scared of what I had seen. I need advice. I have been told that I can't return back to that shrine because that was what we agreed upon, and that healer, he will never want to see me at his shrine. He said so. I need help. If there is anyone that can remove a tokology without making me to become poor, you can give your phone numbers to Brother Nashi. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Let us try to speak with our dear brother in the comment section. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us meet again in the following episode.